Hey, hello leaders. This is Paul Grau Jr. and welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges. So today is a topic I want to talk about, and it talks about how leaders sometimes have off days. And in the sports world, when a player has a bad stretch, they call it a slump. So the question today is, can leaders have slumps? And if leaders do have slumps, how do we prevent them, or how can we get out of them? That's what today covers. It originally comes from season 1, episode 109, and I know that you're going to enjoy it. Hello, leaders. Have you ever went through a leadership slump? Well, I was watching a baseball game last night, and the announcers were talking about a few players on each team who were going through slumps. In other words, these players just weren't performing up to their abilities or expectations. The thing is, the announcers were talking about how every baseball player goes through a slump or several slumps throughout the year, and it's pretty much expected. Well, you know me, that got me to thinking about leadership. I started thinking things like, do leaders go through slumps? And are leaders expected to have slumps? And if so, what exactly would a leadership slump look like? Well, today we're going to talk about leadership slumps, if they even exist, and how leaders should respond. Okay, let's talk about today's challenge of leadership slumps. So, if million-dollar baseball players are expected to go through slumps throughout their year, how about leaders? Can we blame a bad week on a slump? If our productivity falls below what's expected for a couple weeks, can we simply say, "Don't worry, boss, it's just a slump"? If our organization's revenues dip into the red, can we tell our stakeholders to keep calm and just ride out our slump? Well, this sounds ridiculous, right? Well, believe it or not, I think leaders can go through difficult times to a certain degree. The fact is, leadership can be a tough and demanding job, and at times it may feel like nothing is going right. Yeah, we're usually our own biggest critics, but sometimes it just grinds away at us. I mean, come on, have you ever felt like everything is just going terribly? Have you ever had those days where it seems like nothing goes right? Or how about those days when you have one personnel issue after another, and productivity and morale both seem to dip to dangerously low points? Well, if you haven't experienced those things, don't worry. It's bound to happen sooner or later. And when it does, I would not recommend that you blame it on a slump. Now, it would certainly be convenient if leaders could blame their bad days and or poor performance on a slump, but that's just not the way it works. When leaders underperform, we pay the consequences. We take responsibility for our actions and the actions of our team, and we keep pushing on. We keep leading by the right example. We reach into our experience and try old things that used to work, and or we try new ways of doing things. We get creative to motivate our teams, and we just know that today is going to be better than yesterday. However, one thing leaders never do is blame their bad days or weeks on a slump. You see, as leaders, we don't make excuses when we perform poorly. Instead, we buckle down and push on. We accept our responsibilities and failures, and we learn from them. We don't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. We adjust and we improve. Listen to what one of my favorite baseball players, Derek Jeter, said about slumps. Derek was going through a tough time during the 2010 season, what the press called a slump, and Jeter responded by saying, "I don't use the word slump. All I can do is focus on trying to have good at-bats and hitting the ball hard every time. I don't get negative, and I don't use the word slump. I expect to see better results." Now, if you think about that, that's exactly what leaders should do when things just aren't going very well. If I were able to translate Jeter's response into a leadership response, I think it would sound something like this. When leaders are going through difficult times, we should focus on our tasks and the quality of our daily actions. We need to stay positive and not make excuses. We should always expect to see better results. Man, I just hope that is a little encouragement if you are struggling a bit. Keep pushing on. Keep leading by the right example. Keep focused and stay positive. Expect better results today. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and as a reminder, please be sure to subscribe and share this briefing with coworkers and every leader you know, especially your HR directors and your CEOs, so your entire organization can run to your challenges together. If you enjoyed this show, I would greatly appreciate a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening on. You can always contact me directly at Paul Grau, that's PaulGrau, at currentleadershipcoaching.com. I really appreciate you listening, so thank you, and until tomorrow, run to your challenges.